several hundred alumni of the law school that Matt Gaetz attended, which includes, by the way, about 36 who actually graduated in Matt Gaetz' class of 2007 from William and Mary Law School. But 500 of them have signed on to a letter urging Matt Gaetz to resign for abandoning the principles that are taught at William and Mary Law School. Now, one of those principles is for graduates to go out and become citizen lawyers, devote part of their time to furthering public causes. In other words, you have to help people with your position, with your knowledge, with your skills as a new lawyer. We expect you to go out there and do some friggin' good in the world. And as I think we're all aware, Matt Gaetz has done exactly zero good in this world ever. These people who signed on to this letter say that Matt Gaetz is an embarrassment to their school, and they want him to resign. Now, that's the big part of it, right? The other part of it, according to interviews that some of these alumni had with Business Insider, is that they also believe that Matt Gaetz hasn't changed from the person he was back in 2007, which is on par with what his former high school classmates said, who says he's the same person he was in the year 2000. You know, this wannabe frat boy type that cares more about drinking and partying than literally anything else on the planet. So why does that matter? Why is that relevant to anything happening in the world of Matt Gaetz right now? I'll tell you why. If you were prosecuting a case against an individual, the first thing you're going to want to establish about that individual is a pattern of behavior. And that's what we're seeing emerge with all these stories with Matt Gaetz. Again, recently they spoke to his high school classmates, and they say this guy hasn't changed from what he was when he was 17 and 18 years old. Well, now they're talking to the law school people. 7 years after the high school, maybe he's grown up. They say, nope, he didn't grow up between high school and law school, and he clearly hasn't grown up between law school and today. It's all about partying. It's all about women. It's all about booze. It's all about having a good time. And of course, being the center of attention. That's another thing they pointed out. Gaetz always wanted to be the center. He struggled with it, they said. He desperately wanted it, but wasn't sure how to do it. This is a pattern of behavior. And sure, it may not be a pattern of criminal behavior. There's nothing wrong with a bunch of law school kids getting together at somebody's house and having a massive party and everybody getting loaded. That's okay. What it does show is that Gaetz prioritizes the social life, the social aspect, above all else. And after all, a lot of the stories we have heard that have come out of this investigation is Gaetz was partying. Gaetz may have been on illegal drugs at the time. Gaetz was paying for these women to go down to the Bahamas. It's the party boy, frat boy mentality that he never grew out of. And part of that mentality comes with the invincibility, or at least the perceived invincibility. I can do whatever I want because nothing bad is going to happen to me. And then when and if the bad things happen, Dad's going to get me out of trouble. And that's what his father did for him. But Gaetz can't live in that life forever. The guy's approaching 40 years old. You got to grow up sometime, especially when you're representing a hard right district right down here in the Bible Belt. The saddest thing is I honestly don't think most of the voters down here care. Oh, if it was anybody else doing these things, they would absolutely be up in arms calling for this person to not only be, removed from office, but kicked out of the United States if they could. But because it's one of their own, they're willing to look the other way. Turn the other cheek. We've turned our cheeks too many times from Matt Gaetz. This is a pattern. This is a clear, repetitive behavior. And everyone who knows him tells us this is not only who he is, but it's who he has always been.